drug-infused stupor, decided to shoot him while he slept.
I have them both standing here, together, holding hands.
Why would you hold hands with the person that took your life?
He says because we love each other.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching. By law, I have to tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. All videos are property of Psychic Liz Cross, LLC. Thank you.
Welcome everybody, it's Mr. Reality joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing great, Mr. Reality. Thank you.
His name crossed my mind a while back, and I wondered if we could talk to Phil Hartman, who was a famous Canadian-American actor, famous for SNL and many movies, and he was sadly taken down at 49 years old by his wife Brynn, who in a coke drug-infused stupor decided to shoot him while he slept and then decided to take her own life. So, trigger warning for those out there. I wondered if we can talk to Phil Hartman, find out why he entered into that contract, and Brynn, his ex-wife or wife, I guess, on the other side.
I have them both standing here, together, holding hands.
Really?
Hmm.
Why would you hold hands with the person that took your life?
He says because we love each other.
But why choose this exit plane? It's very chaotic, it's very messy, it's very sudden and abrupt.
Why
Help
choose
us
it?
understand it, Phil.
She chose it. She chooses most things that happen in the soul contract. She is a much stronger soul than he is, and he lets her take the lead.
And why is that?
Why is that?
Looks a little
Well, he
domineering
says,
here, too. So normally we picture Phil Hartman as this larger than life character, but this image seems to capture what you just said, ironically.
and he says because she has a lot of good ideas.
I would push back on good and your definition of good.
He said it was the way they wanted to go. They don't like being on the earth plane without one another, and they wanted to go.
Explain to me how many lifetimes maybe they have had as human beings together and then apart.
How many lifetimes have you had as human beings, all for you individually? A lot, 600, okay? Together, both of them. Have you always been to?
So, ironically, this morning in our CTT meditation, we were talking about dissolving bad contracts. I would posit to them that maybe this is a bad contract. Would they agree or disagree?
No, he thinks that this is the best contract.
But isn't there negative karmic loops associated with, I don't know, taking someone's life by murder and then taking your own life?
Yeah, he said that's what keeps us together.
How many
These
times has this?
two, these two are inseparable. You just can't separate them. They like to come down together around the same time and they like to leave together, always leave together. He says, been there, done that. I did lifetimes, we've done lifetimes where we've ended up just somebody's left on the earth plane. We do not like that. I feel very strongly as I'm tapping into his energy that he does not want to be here on the earth plane without her.
So that sounds like a dependency issue to my spiritual counseling methodology, but how would he describe a lifetime apart from Bryn or whatever character she's calling herself on the other side and how that lifetime played out?
How would you describe your lifetime with Brynn? It was chaotic, the lifetime. She's very unstable in this last lifetime, very unpredictable, very abusive, had a lot of deep-seated emotional problems. It was very difficult, and he was the one that was trying to save her in this lifetime. He thought that he could save her, and she was also, it was a very domestic abuse, violence relationship. She would assault him, she would belittle him, she would call him names. Um, she would make a show in public. So, yeah, I mean, this was not a good situation.
100%, I can agree with that, but I wanted Phil to tell us about a lifetime apart from Bryn that he had, and if he could tell us about that lifetime.
A lifetime apart from her. Well, he says This is going back into some animal lifetimes, but he says, I was very lonely without her. He belongs to a soul family that likes to abandon one another. You reach a certain maturity level, and he found it to be lonely. He thought the loneliness was the worst possible scenario he could end up in, and he vowed to not end up in loneliness. And so he believes that she is his cure for loneliness.
I'm going to coin a new phrase, Phil Hartman, the man of a million voices. Were the voices and characters that he created a type of defense mechanism to prevent people from getting close to him?
No, but she very much controlled everything that he did, who he spoke to, who he hung around, who he was allowed to have over. She was very controlling.
And what in her makeup then what made her want to be that domineering?
What in her makeup made you want to be that domineering? What was the re-triggering event? Well, she grew up in witnessing abuse in the household. And in order to stop being traumatized, it was her coping mechanism to be really controlling. So if she controls all aspects of the situation, no one can hurt her. She doesn't allow anyone to hurt her in these types of relationships. She had been in DV relationships before, and luckily they got away from her. But yeah, that's why she was so controlling.
So I would say then, and or ask to try and understand, she was suffering from chemical dependency. She was high when this happened. So were those her actions that took Phil's life, or was that a byproduct of the drugs and that she was on, allowing something else to come through her?
Was that your action? Oh, yeah, she puts her hand up and says, "Oh, yeah, I'm totally responsible." Had you thought about killing him before? He was trying to get away from her, and she says, "I wasn't going to allow that to happen."
And she still thinks this is a good idea from that point of view that she's in now.
They're doing what they know. And as we comb through the CTT sessions
Mm-hmm.
every Monday,
Mm-hmm.
we learn that souls go with what they know. They just keep recreating the same circumstances or similar scenarios. I mean, this is what they know. I mean, the reality is on the earth plane, he was going to not only remove himself from the situation, but that would also limit her financially to being able to access the all of the things that she was addicted to, all of the addictive substances. So that was more her priority on the day that she shot him. That
How
was
many
what
other
was going through her mind. How is she going to access drugs and but I mean also there's so many DV elements to this as well.
how many other lifetimes has this scenario played out, and how else did it manifest?
No other lifetimes. I'm looking at lifetimes where, for whatever reason, they've always passed together. So one of them is on a ship that sunk, not the Titanic. Another one is like a village that got burned down and they were in the house together. They always leave together, always. They learned that a long time ago.
And is there any karmic recompense that Phil now needs to pay to Brynn for taking his own life or taking his life?
Taking his life. Is there any comment? I mean, yeah, he owes her the same sort of energy in a subsequent lifetime, but he's not that type of person. He's not that type of soul. He does not like bringing about negative karma. He lets her have all that responsibility in order to keep them together. But I'm saying, look, if this negative karma isn't erased or taken care of naturally. Like, I swear to God, this was so, you guys, if you're not listening to the CTT recordings or coming to the group, you're missing out. They'll be together forever. And that's what they want. He just said that's what we want. No longer have to reincarnate here on the earth plane. We're going in together. We are a package deal.
600 times, if I say fool me once, shame on me, and fool me twice, or whatever, or fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, fool me 600 times, shame on the both of you. Don't they realize that this is like a negative karmic loop? And what level of ascension are Brynn and Phil on at this point over 600 lifetimes?
Wow. They're still at a two.
So shouldn't they be higher, and don't they recognize that? I know this is like an intervention of a spiritual nature, but it seems like we do that week out.
Yeah, shouldn't it be higher? What I'm getting from spirit is like for that many lifetimes, they should be at a level high 3 or 4, but they're just stuck. I mean, I feel that they're going to have to really introduce other souls into the soul contracts, into the lifetimes that are more impactful and influential in positive ways so that they can ascend, because what they're doing is just putting themselves in these traps. He's in a trap of DV, she's in a trap of addiction. They're not going anywhere. So how many, when you got to the other side this last time, how many ascension steps had you both climbed during the life review? See, one. They climbed one step. You know how many ascension steps there are? There's steps within each level, and it could be hundreds or thousands of steps within each level. When they got to the other side, they climbed one step, and they don't mind that. They're not in a rush at the moment. Certainly, their soul consciousness is not in a rush to get out. The only thing that they're concerned with is staying together no matter what.
Hmm. What are they planning for the next lifetime together?
A role reversal. So she is going to play the male, he is going to play the female. And again, just very isolated in this relationship. No children, I don't see at the moment as they're currently planning. Estranged from their families, just completely isolated. And that's, yeah, I knew that. That's why I was getting like, you have to introduce more people, more souls into the relationship to have, of course, he was around people that he worked with and things like that. But I am getting that he was a very professional person and work. He wasn't the type that would just hang out with work colleagues and form friendships, especially since he was with her, form friendships really outside of work. Very, very professional.
Can we talk to the karmic board of the spirituality?
Hmm. Okay.
I'm curious how many are on this board. What do they sit? What do they view? What do they review?
There's about 16 on the board.
And they surveil all of like the 6 billion souls, or are there just cases that come to it?
No, it's cases that come to it.
Do they rotate, or are they always the same 16?
No, they rotate.
Okay, so it just happens to be who's ever sitting on that board council now. What this type of information that we get from Phil Hartman and his wife Brynn, if we were to take this case to a spiritual review board such as yourselves, a karmic board, what would you say to them? Because they seem to be stuck in a negative karmic loop cycle. Can we bring them to the board? Can we intervene in some way?
Can we bring them to the board? That's a good idea. Can we bring them to the board? No, they have to file a complaint to the board.
Can't we file one on their behalf?
No, it has to be done through them. And they're saying, the board is saying, well, they're happy doing what they do, so we just leave them alone.
but
They'll
it's
figure
not
it out.
benefiting. Is it benefiting anyone? His voice is entertained many, but now they fall on deaf ears because there's no Phil there.
Well, he did generate a lot of good karma, though, while he was here, being an entertainer that was very positive.
And so
If you,
just to,
sorry, if you make someone laugh or entertain them in a good way, you actually create a lot of good karma for yourself, which he just stores up in his good karma bank. He doesn't use it.
in a final question for the spiritual board, what does it serve then to have these negative loops continue to play out? What is that fuel from the human side to the energetic spiritual side?
Well, the board are saying it's down to them to really get themselves out of it, to figure out that maybe they need to make different soul contracts with different people, try something new, but they won't. And I would say not only is the negative loop holding them together, but the fear of being without one another is holding them together too. So it's a negative emotion that is stored within the soul that is keeping them together as well. I
How
mean,
long
she's
is
scared to let go of him, he's scared to let go of her, no matter how destructive the contracts are.
how long has the board been in existence?
How long has the board been in? Oh, before humans existed on the on the earth plane.
So what did they do then?
What did you do then?
Solve dinosaur disputes?
Yeah. That's so funny. Dinosaur disputes. Don't forget, Mr. Reality does have a tip jar listed down below. He deserves a few dollars
I'll
for
appear at
that
the
one.
Comedy
That's
Shack
funny.
next week. Yeah, thank you very much on my yacht
That's
later. Thank
funny.
you. Well, thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. And Phil Hartman and Brynn, I just wish we could impress upon you that there's so much more to life than the suffering aspect of it.
They're happy. As deranged as it seems to us here on the earth plane, on a soul level, they're happy. And they're still holding hands. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he says, "Thank you for allowing us to talk today."
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Phil and Brynn. And each of you out there, we appreciate each one of you. Thank you very much for joining us. And make sure to hype, like, share, thumbs up, share this with a friend. We'll see you next time.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Reality.